All right, sir, if you can raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Now, White Jacobs and Associates, that's where you were working at in December of 2018, correct?
That's correct.
Describe for me the layout of their office.
It's an open office type format.
And when you walk in the door, is there a receptionist or anybody there?
Yeah, when you walk in the front door, there's a receptionist, and to the right, there's one room full of desks. That's basically the floor where all the credit analysts work, and there's kind of a platform where the supervisors sit at the front of the room. And if you were to go to the left from walking in the front door, there's a smaller room, which is where the people who work in admin are typically located.
And where was your office at?
It was in the same room as all the other credit analysts.
How many other credit analysts? How big of a room are we talking about?
We're talking about, I don't know the square footage, Mr. Retzloff. I would say desk to desk, there were probably 25 or more people, maybe 30, depending upon the time. I mean, obviously there's turnover at the company. I can't give you an exact number, but that's about how many people were in that room, including the supervisors and the analysts. I mean, I had Pardon?
Did you have a desk or a separate office?
I had an office that was off. If you were looking towards the front of the room, it was to the right. There was a door to my office, but the best I could recall, you couldn't lock it, because I certainly didn't have a key to get into the office. My office...
No, I'm not asking.
Okay.
All right, and was that your own office, or did anybody else work in that office?
Oh, other people worked in that office as well.
No, in the office where you had your desk.
Yes, other people worked in there as well. It was a shared office.
What are their names?
I don't know who else used the office, Mr. Retzloff. If I was in court, for example, and someone was meeting with a credit repair client for a consult, and the conference room was in use, they would go into my office and they would use it. I can't...
Okay. Who's in charge of that office location?
You mean the whole office, White Jacobs?
Yeah. Who's your supervisor there?
Edward LaMonica and Ashley Mitchell.
And are they related to each other?
They used to be.
How are they related?
They were married.
Okay. And who else was also in charge? Wasn't there's another guy there, Alan Humphreys?
He used to be in charge. He was for a time when I was there, but I can't really go into how it happened. But he no longer has any interest in White Jacobs and Associates.
And is he related to one of those two other people?
He is.
And who is he related to?
Ashley Mitchell.
And how are they related?
I believe they're brother and sister. I don't know for sure.
And they're still brother and sister?
As far as I know, yes. I don't know the dynamics of the family, Mr. Retzloff.
So in order to get into your work area, you walk in through the front door where the receptionist is. Do you have to use a key card or anything to get access?
No.
Okay. And then you have to walk past the receptionist, and then you go into an open area where there's 25, 30 other people or desks.
Just working, yep.
And then your office is off to the side.
Yeah, and there's another office was typically empty that was next to mine, and then there was a room.
I don't care.
Okay, all right.
Has Isaac Marquardt ever been into your office there?
Yes, he has.
And how many times has he visited you there?
I don't recall an exact number. Probably less than 15, more than 5. He would come by and we'd have lunch every so often.
Has he ever been employed by that company?
No.
Other than visiting you, would he ever have a reason to go there?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, they knew who he was there.
Say again?
I mean, they knew who he was. They knew he was one of my buddies that would come by for lunch every so often, so they certainly wouldn't question him if he walked through the front door.
How many other buddies did you have come and show up at your work there?
3 or 4.
What are their names?
Not giving you their names.
Why not?
I don't want them on your BV Files website, and I don't want you harassing their employers.
So that's your legal response? That's your objection?
Mr. Retzloff, you can certify it, and I'll move for a protective order. I'm not giving you the names of my friends. We are well outside the bounds of discovery in this case, and I'm bending over backwards to be cooperative with you.
I'm looking at your response here to interrogatory number 5.
Okay?
See it?
I can see it.
And this question is regarding to the 2 December 18th emails.
December 12th, you mean?
Yeah, December 12th, 2018.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
All right. Read your response.
I was not the author of either email and did not send either email. The facts in support of that contention are as follows. I did not write either email. I did not send either email. I do not recall whether I was even in my office at the time either email was allegedly sent. I had no knowledge of the emails until I returned from a vacation I'd taken to North Carolina almost immediately after the emails were supposedly sent. When I learned of the existence of the emails, I searched my office email software and all email backups for any copies of the emails so I could determine when and how they may have been sent and was unable to locate them. I conducted similar searches as my home and on my personal mobile phone for both emails, but was also unable to locate them. I will not be making...
Oh.
All right.
That's fine. I just wanted to hear that little bit. Okay. And is there anything about that statement that you wish to add or subtract to?
Other than it looks like I think there's a misspelling or a typo in there, but aside from that, no.
Okay. So where were you on December 12th?
I believe I initially started the day at my office. I don't remember if...
What time?
I don't recall when I arrived at my office on a day that's almost 18 months ago, Mr. Retzloff. I simply don't. I would typically, if it was a typical work day, I would probably arrive around 8 or 8:30 a.m. because I would leave a little earlier than normal to avoid the traffic.
I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 23 Alpha.
Yeah, I see it.
All right, you recognize this? It's got your little Bates mark stuff down there?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, these are emails that you sent to me in response to discovery requests. Correct?
Yes, okay. Sorry, it took me a minute to understand what you were saying. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So we see on page 1 here a reference to an email from Charles Harder. Who's Charles Harder?
Objective form. Are you saying that I sent you this email, Mr. Retzloff? I'm confused by your question.
No, I'm saying these are emails that you produced in response to my discovery requests. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right. So we got this email here which references Charles Harder. On the second page, got an email from me where I say some mean things about you, correct?
That's correct.
Let's see, and then on page 4, we got an email from me where I make some sort of reference to Goldfinger. I guess you wrote this email down here at the bottom, correct?
Yeah, I wrote that one.
Okay. And then above it, I guess is my response to your email, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And the dates of these are all on December 12th, 2018, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and it looks like they're all in the morning. Not sure which time zone that might be.
I don't
No,
think
that might-
I think that's your time zone on that one, on those, Mr. Retzloff, because I don't think I would have gotten there at 7:30 a.m. That would have been a little out of the ordinary.
Now this email here that I'm showing you here at the top of page 4,
Okay.
it's got your name on it, and then you see Jeff Durrell, John Counsel, who's a reporter, correct?
I don't know if he's still a reporter, but he was at the time.
Okay, and looks like Kristen Brady is involved too. She's a state bar prosecutor, correct?
Yep.
And we got Linda Acevedo. You remember who she was, right? She was the chief disciplinary counsel.
I vaguely recall her. I've never spoken to her or dealt with her, Mr. Retzloff.
Okay, and then we got William Summer. He's also a news reporter, correct?
I would use the term loosely, but yes.
Okay, but these are all people that are involved in this email thread, correct?
It looks like it, yes.
Okay, all right. I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 23 Bravo. You remember this email?
Let me see. Yeah, I remember that one.
Okay. I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit 23 Charlie. That's the same email that we saw before, correct?
You'll have to scroll down. I don't know for sure, Mr. Retzloff. It looks like that's 3 pages, and I want to be absolutely sure.
Yeah. And it looks like this is what your response, you were responding to an email that I sent you about the Marksman Club, it looks like, correct? That's what got you so angry, right?
I believe so. I'd have to see the entire email, because I cannot verify this document until I see the entire email, Mr. Retzloff, all 3 pages.
We will. I'm just asking about this email up here. This was written in response because of this email here.
I don't know if that's. I don't remember if that's the whole email, Mr. Retzloff, but that's what it appears to be. Yes.
Right. Okay. And then we've got your email down here.
Nope, that's not my email.
That's not you. How did it get in this email thread?
My guess, I have no personal knowledge of how they got into the email thread. I did not send that. I don't think it's I don't think it's a real email. I think it was created on a word processor.
Okay. And it looks like that email here on page 2 is in response to this Goldfinger email, which was in the discovery responses you sent me.
I did not write that email. I cannot answer a question about that email that you're pointing to, which, hold on, go back up, please. I want a clear record. The email you're referring to, up more, please. The email you're referring to says, "I promise you this, motherfucker. If my law career dies, you die with it." I did not send that email. I do not know who did. I have no personal knowledge of anything related to that email.
How did it wind up in this email thread?
Because someone else either created it or someone else put it there.
Okay, so you think it's fake?
I think it's fake or it's forged.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as exhibit number 24.
Okay.
See it?
Yeah, I see it.
The grand jury subpoena, correct?
That's what it says.
Issued to Frontier Communications.
Okay.
All right. It says here this IP address. What does that say? Read that off to me, please.
IP address 96.226.87.77.
And who does it say owns that IP address?
White Jacobs and Associates LLC. Sorry.
And this is a grand jury subpoena. Let's see, on page 4 here, asking for any and all records pertaining to accounts associated with IP address 96.226.87.77 between the dates of December 1st, 2018 and December 31st, 2018, correct?
That's what it says.
Okay. And the response is that IP address belongs to White Jacobs and Associates, correct?
That's the response, Mr. Retzloff.
And I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 25.
All right.
This is the email here that you claim you never sent, correct?
Yep. To me, this is just a piece of paper with words on it.
Okay. You think it's fake?
I know it's fake.
And how about the email down here on December 12th that says 16? Is that an email that you sent?
Yes, it is.
And it seems like you sent that email in response to my email referencing Charles Harder on the bottom of page 2, correct?
Yeah, the one that says we're going to pound that Nazi boy in the ass and get every single penny in TCPA fees. Yeah, that one.
Right. And who's Charles Harder? Do you know who he is?
I've recently learned, yes.
And who is he?
He
For
is
the folks at home.
for the folks for the millions and millions of people watching at home. Charles Harder is the attorney for President Trump in the Clifford versus Daniels case in I don't recall what federal district court, but it's a federal district court somewhere in California.
And you know that he and President Trump are involved in our lawsuit with the Supreme Court with regards to the Texas anti-SLAPP law, correct?
I have no personal knowledge of that. I've not seen them make any appearance or file any amicus briefs. So to the best of my knowledge, they're not involved. I think they'd be affected by it, but I have not seen any filings from them in the case.
I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 26. Can you see it?
I see it.
What does it say? Read it to me.
I can't verify this document. It's a piece of paper with words on it. I don't know where it came from.
I'm not asking you to verify it. I'm just asking you to read. What does the highlighted word say?
Object to form. The highlighted words say, "Go fuck yourself and what's left of your miserable life. You have destroyed my life, and for that offense you will pay for your own. That's not a threat. That's a promise, motherfucker." And then below that, from Tom. Was highlighted.
No, okay. But this is an email, though, that is from you, correct?
No, it's not from me, Mr. Retzloff. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate this point. That email is not from me.
Just wait. See if I can do this right first before I put it on the screen. Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
No, I'm just muttering to myself.
Oh,
I wanna
okay.
make sure doing it right before I show you. All right, you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. This is that email that we just talked about, correct?
I can't see the whole. It appears to be. I can't see the whole. I can't see the whole screen, but that's what it appears to be.
Okay. And this is with Outlook. Open with Outlook. You're familiar with Microsoft Outlook, correct? That's an email program.
I'm familiar with it.
Okay. And you know how to look at the headers on an email?
I do not. I've never had the need to.
Okay. You see the window that just popped up that says Properties up here at the top?
Yes, I can see that.
And you see down here where it says Internet Headers?
I can see that.
Okay. That's all the technical gobbledygook on there that tells you the routing of these emails.
If you say so, I don't know about any of that stuff.
All right, we'll get to the good bits here. All right, you see what I'm highlighting there?
Yeah, yes, X, it says originating IP address 96.226.87.77.
Correct. And you recall the earlier exhibit with the grand jury subpoena.
It appeared to be for the same IP address, if I remember correctly.
You see my screen?
I do.
And that's the email that you earlier said that you had sent to me, correct?
I said I believe I sent it to you. I don't recall it specifically. That looks like something I sent you.
All right. You see the properties window popped up?
Yeah, I do.
All right. We're going to scroll down and look at the internet headers. Right there that I've got highlighted. What does it show as the originating IP address?
96.226.87.77. That's what it says.
And that matches up with the grand jury subpoena for White Jacobs and Associates, correct?
It does.
You see my screen?
I see your screen.
We're going to look at the properties, internet headers.
That's what you appear to be bringing up.
Scrolling down to where it shows originating IP. What's that IP address?
96.226.87.77. That's what it says.
And that's the IP address for White Jacobs and Associates, correct?
I have no personal knowledge of that. That's what the grand jury subpoena appears to have said.
That's what we're looking at, Exhibit 24 right now.
That's what Exhibit 24 says. But I'm basing my answer on this. I have no personal knowledge of their IP address.
You see my screen?
Yes, I see your screen.
I'm showing you what is going to be marked as Exhibit A because it's the exhibit I've just created right now. It's a screenshot of that email header.
Okay.
See down there where it's highlighted again that shows that IP address 96.226.87.77.
I can see that.
All right. I'm showing you what's going to be marked as Exhibit B. That's for that second email that I showed you. Again, I'm just highlighting this because this is going to be attached to your deposition. This is a screen grab that I just made while we were just talking. So the IP address, go ahead.
So you don't have to ask my permission to attach an exhibit, Mr. Retzloff.
I'm not. I'm
Okay.
just explaining it so you can follow along.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Retzloff, this is the court reporter. Are you marking this exhibit A and B to another document?
No, I just couldn't remember what numbers I left off at on my exhibits that I sent you.
The reason that
And-
I'm asking is because Mr. Van Dyke has also already marked an exhibit A and an exhibit B at the beginning of the deposition.
Oh, okay. Then we'll pick something completely different then.
May I recommend we mark him as his exhibit, whatever exhibit is next in order?
How about, I don't know. I don't know how you mark exhibits. We can mark that as, let's see, I think, what did I leave off at? It's exhibit 61, I think, isn't it?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
I don't have access to that right now.
Okay. All right. Instead of A and B, it'll be 62 and 63.
Okay?
All right.
Let me fix that. All right, I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 64 then. That's from that third email that I just showed you earlier. Again, we've got the IP address highlighted here. You see that?
I can see that.
96.226.87.77, correct?
That is what it says, Mr. Retzloff.
And it's your position that these were sent by Isaac Marquardt.
No, that's not what I said. I think it's possible that it was sent, they were sent by Isaac Marquardt based on the circumstantial evidence. I also think it's possible that they were created and forged by you. I have no idea how those emails got sent. All I can tell you, and all that I have personal knowledge of, is that I didn't write them and I didn't send them.
And you're aware that I have contacted the attorney for White Jacobs and Associates to request, I guess, timesheets for whoever was working on that day on December 12th. You're aware of that?
Was that your email to them on January 16th?
No, an email that I sent to him about a week ago.
I was not aware of that. They didn't tell me.
Then I'm going to get the names of every single person who was in that office on that day.
Okay. I don't know why you're telling. Is there a question there?
Yeah, do you think that there's anybody there who's going to claim that Isaac Marquardt wandered into the office and used your computer to send emails?
I'm not saying that he did.
You expect us to believe that?
Yes, because it's the truth.
Okay. Except these emails are all a part of a thread of a whole bunch of other
Uh,
emails that you and I were sending each other back and forth on that day.
They're not part of the thread that I've got. They weren't part of the thread that I've pulled from my computer. Where the
What
heck?
was the email address that those emails were sent from?
I don't-
All of the emails.
Okay.
Well, let's look down here at Exhibit 26, all right? Again, you're denying that you sent this particular email.
That's
but you
correct.
can see right here, what email address is highlighted there in yellow?
That says Jason at VanDykeLawFirm.com.
And whose email address is that?
Right now it's nobody's. It used to be mine.
And when did it stop being your email address?
Once you used these emails to get this to convince the Denton DA to charge me with that bogus false report offense, and started going down that tangent, I changed my email address, and I told my IT guy that I am canceling that email address because I never want to hear from you again.
And who is your IT guy?
Craig Lundy.
Spell the last name.
Lima, Utah, Delta, India, Echo, Lundy.
And where does he live or work? Who's he work for?
I believe he's self-employed.
And your claim is that you told Craig Lundy that you wanted to, in fact, you deleted that email account, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And when the FBI served a grand jury subpoena for that email account, it turned out that you had in fact deleted all of the emails, correct?
That I deleted all the emails? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't recall. I don't know when they served the subpoena. I don't know. I have none of that information, Mr. Retzloff.
When you told Craig Lundy, you told him what, to cancel that email or to delete it or what? What did you tell him exactly?
I told him that that email address is no longer going to be used because a man who is stalking me has been contacting me through it, and I don't want to get more email from him. Get rid of it permanently. And cancel the domain name because I'm not going to be a lawyer much longer. That's what I told him. That would have been in January of 2019, I believe. Maybe late December of 2018. I don't recall when I stopped using the email address.
Okay, but you still kept filing papers in the lawsuit with your new email address, correct? This Proton Mail account and this Gmail account, correct?
Yes, those are my new email addresses.
So what the fuck was the reason then for deleting the old email account if you just turn around and you give me a new email account?
I originally intended to only give you the Gmail account because that's got the most aggressive spam filter, and it was easy to filter out your messages as spam. Then I inadvertently sent you something from the Proton Mail account at one point, and the cat was out of the bag.
It's not out of the bag. You have that listed in your court pleadings.
Well, I do now.
No, you've listed them both at different times. When you canceled that email account at VanDykeLawFirm.com, what happened to all the emails from your clients and your work product? What happened to those emails, Jason?
As far as the emails relating to client matters, it was standard practice in my office that when an email was needed, when an email was important, I would save it to a PDF and put it within the client's electronic file on my computer.
And what happened to other emails?
Emails that were junk were deleted.
And when you had Mr. Lundy cancel this email account, all of the emails that would have been stored on that server were deleted, correct?
You'd have to ask Mr. Lundy.
I'm asking you, it's your email account.
I have no personal knowledge of whether they were all deleted. As far as I know, they might still be there. I told Mr. Lundy to cancel that account.
And you told him to cancel that account after you were made aware of the investigation against you with regards to the threats, correct?
No, that was made before I was arrested. I did this while I was in Alaska.
You had him delete that email account while you were still in Alaska?
That's correct.
What you're saying?
That's correct.
Where at in Alaska were you?
At what point? Depending upon the time, I could have been in one location or another.
When you sent Mr. Lundy that email?
Anchorage.
And if Mr. Lundy gets subpoenaed, and there isn't a reason why he wouldn't, you think he'll back up that story?
I think he will, yeah.
Okay. And it was after, this was after I'd already complained to the district attorney's office about your threats, when they told you that they were going to increase your bond at that upcoming court hearing that you decided not to appear at, correct?
That's correct.
And the DA's office had filed a motion to basically revoke your bond as a result of my complaint about those emails, correct?
Yes.
And you went on the trip to Alaska before your court hearing was scheduled, correct?
Correct.
This is bizarre.
You're telling me.
Can we take a break to change the tape real quick?